You've heard of 9/11, but America's first terror attacks began decades earlier, and one of them was so explosive the fire burned for 3 straight days, yet almost no one talks about it. Today, we uncover the forgotten sabotage that nearly crippled America's World War I supply lines, the Kingsland explosion of 1917. Before Pearl Harbor, before Oklahoma City, before 9/11, there were German spies operating on American soil, planting bombs in factories, sabotaging ammunition depots, and engineering explosions so massive they shook entire cities. And the Kingsland blast was the one that could have changed the course of World War I. If you think Black Tom was shocking, what happened next will rewrite what you thought you knew about America's past. It was January 11, 1917. In Kingsland, New Jersey, the Canadian car and foundry plant was operating at full speed. Thousands of workers assembling artillery shells for the Allied armies fighting in Europe. The building was enormous, stretching nearly a quarter-mile long. Rows of wooden tables, barrels of TNT, stacks of artillery shells waiting to be filled. It was basically a giant bomb waiting for a spark. Inside this dangerous maze worked a young immigrant woman named Catherine Karts, a 23-year-old Polish-American assembly worker. She had no idea that her shift that morning would become one of the most explosive days in American history. Around 1:30 p.m., someone shouted. A shell had suddenly ignited. Within seconds, another shell ignited. Then another. Then hundreds. Workers ran toward the exits as a chain reaction ripped through the building, a sound like 1,000 thunderclaps, survivors later said. The entire factory floor erupted into a swirling inferno of exploding ammunition. Windows across New Jersey shattered. People as far as Manhattan heard the blast echo across the river. And the terrifying part? No one knew what triggered it. Investigators at first blamed a worker mistake, but then the evidence started pointing in a very different direction. A direction that matched the Black Tom sabotage just 6 months earlier. A direction that involved German secret agents operating inside the United States. Witnesses kept mentioning the same person, a woman in a dark coat, seen near the shell that ignited first, walking away seconds before the explosion. Some said she was unfamiliar. Some said she didn't work in that section. And some said she vanished during the chaos. The government quietly suspected German sabotage, but never publicly admitted it. Why? Because America was still technically neutral in January 1917. A public accusation could push the country into war. Instead, the incident was buried under layers of confusion, misdirection, and missing evidence. But what happened next shocked everyone, because the person blamed for the explosion wasn't a spy. It was the young factory worker, Catherine Karts. She had been working at the exact table where the fire began. Reporters targeted her. Investigators interrogated her. Her name hit newspapers nationwide as the woman who caused the Kingsland fire. But she was innocent. No one could prove she did anything wrong. And the truth behind the explosion vanished into classified archives for decades. It wasn't until after the war, after Germany's defeat, that a secret book of German intelligence operations was recovered, and inside, a list of sabotage missions inside the United States. Black Tom, confirmed. Kingsland, referenced as Operation Fire at Shell Plant. Even more shocking, German agents confessed years later that yes, they had been targeting the Kingsland ammunition factory, not to kill workers, but to cripple Allied supply production. And they succeeded. The plant was destroyed, millions of dollars in ammunition burned, and the explosion pushed America one step closer to entering World War I. The Kingsland explosion was so massive, the fires burned for 3 straight days. Thousands were evacuated. The sky glowed orange at night. The Hudson River lit up with reflections of the burning factory. But unlike the Black Tom incident, Kingsland faded away from the history books. Why? Because governments on both sides wanted it forgotten. Germany hid their role. America avoided panic. Newspapers moved on. Today, hardly anyone knows the event even happened, but it changed American history. If you love forgotten American history, if you enjoy uncovering sabotage missions, lost disasters, and mysterious events hidden from the public, then you'll want to stay with this channel, because this was just one of many attacks America never talks about. This was the Kingsland explosion of 1917, but next week we uncover an even stranger forgotten tragedy. Subscribe so you don't miss it.